like, I'm a homebody.
Yeah.
I'll admit it.
Yeah. No, I am too, actually. I don't disagree with you on that at all.
When I was young, I wanted to go to the beach. I wanted to go to Disneyland. I loved crowds. I am the opposite of that today.
When you were a kid, where did you want to live? If you had to pick like a general area.
New York City.
Oh, well, man, then you've come a long way. You've let that dream go.
Oh, that will not be happening, this version of me. But like, honestly, if you're in your 20s and, you know, you want to learn and travel and grow or intern somewhere, that's where I would want to do it.
Yeah, the city's cool. Growing up in the Valley, to me, like the beach was that would be success. If I could get out of the Valley, get through college, get a good job, and one day buy a home at the beach, that was my version of I've made it. Yay me. Fast forward to today, I want to live by a lake in the mountains with a lot of space around me.
Right.
Ideas change. Things change. You could say, well, but you do live at the beach. I don't want to live at the beach anymore.
Yeah.
Do you remember the expression agree to disagree?
Yeah. Like I would like that. I would like that to return, but everything's so vindictive. Now we're trying to throw each other in jail if we disagree with each other, you know, like
this is funny. It's a
slippery slope.
So when I was a kid, I always feel very fortunate because I grew up in the 80s, and to me, the 80s, without doubt, it's the greatest generation ever.
Yes.
The 80s was awesome.
I was a child in the 80s, so
yes, I got to be a teenager.
The best memories ever in the 80s.
The 80s, I mean, we could spend hours just talking about the 80s, and I would love to. But my point was, if you had a disagreement with somebody, there was no text, there was no get on Facebook and post stuff, but there was no bullying online because none of that existed.
Yeah.
You had to walk up to that person. If it was you, I had to go up to you and be like, Jet.
Talk. Yeah.
Yeah. Why did you say this to so-and-so?
Right.
And then you had to answer.
Yeah.
And maybe we solved it. Maybe we did. Maybe we were like, then we're not friends anymore. Yeah. Whatever it was. But you had no choice.
You're right.
It had to be face to face.
Yeah. So you're pointing to what I said earlier in a more articulate way, right? It's
that figures.
It's true. You're pretty good. You're pretty good. You have a little more life experience than me.
I do.
I'm coming along. I'm learning from you.
You'll get there. I have faith in you.
But I digress. You're right, though. Like to call somebody when you're out, like on the freeway, you have to pull over and hop on a payphone, right?
That's right. There was an emergency,
and not just that. Camera phones. Everyone's phones are always out recording what's going on. You know, if there's something that's happening, you're gonna find 10 or 20 phones that are active, right?
Man,
like,
okay, go ahead.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, I'm gonna go somewhere with this, but keep going.
The human species was not meant for this much overstimulation, in my opinion.
We're totally agree.
Like, at the end of the day, we were hunters and gatherers in small little tribes and trying to survive. Like this thing where the first thing we wake up in the morning is doom scroll, right? We're checking stocks, we're checking X and Twitter.
I'm guilty of that,
right?
I'm totally guilty of that.
Yeah. There's pictures and cameras in everyone's face 100% of the time. Like this is maybe different, but
this is a choice.
Yeah,
we're choosing to sit here.
Yeah,
fully aware that whatever we say, someone might watch it and be like, I don't agree with you.
It's also created bad behavior in our industry, right? Like you're pretty damn good about it, but like I'll have a realtor text me at 10 p.m. saying, hey, we really got to talk about the fees on this loan estimate from this client. And I'm like, what?
Will they really text you at 10
p.m.?
Wow.
Right. And I'm like, this version of me is like,
10 p.m. was an emergency.
Yeah.
And that ain't an emergency.
And it's not. And of course, I have the call with them the next day and there's nothing bad. Right.
Wow.
But it's like that's the piece where, like, what is it about society where your average human being has lost all concept for social etiquette and boundaries? Right? Like completely.
Yes.
And then you would call, and I'm the type that calls people out. I don't care if I lose a client. I literally don't give a shit. So I'll just say, hey, that's really inappropriate to text me right now about this.
Yes.
Sure, an email, that's fine, but do not ever text me again like that. And I'll say that to their face because if people want to behave that way with me, they're not going to have a relationship with me. It just doesn't work that way. You can go abuse somebody else who's got less balls. Go ahead.
Do you think that knowing that there are cameras everywhere now, houses, restaurants, everywhere, do you think that very much impacts our behavior? And I'm not talking about cameras like this. Again, we volunteered to be here. I'm talking about cameras everywhere in public life.
I don't know, because part of me would think that that would mean people are behaving better because they know they're being watched 100% of the time.
But do you?
But it doesn't feel like that's changed behavior. It's almost like it's made it worse.
Yeah, I disagree with that. I think it actually pushes you. I think it definitely pushes you to not say things that you think,
right?
Because you don't want that caught on camera.
That's true.
If you look at YouTube is a perfect example. I mean, how many times have you heard somebody say, "Yeah, I don't want to end up on YouTube"?
Mm-hmm.
They're not saying that in a positive way.
No.
They're saying that it's like, well, if I tell someone what I actually think, and someone records it and posts it, and posts just the little snippet where I say maybe the nastiest part of what I said, that's going to stick and run with you forever. And it's like, well, but that's not. You're getting such a small piece of something. You're not getting an actual story.
That's not a good way to live, though, right?
Oh, I think it's horrible.
None of us can be authentic. None of us can say what we think. We're worried about getting canceled, or somebody digs something up 10 years ago when we're trying to run for office or get a job, and then it destroys our lives, right? Like, this is not good.
Well, think about our kids. Their entire life is they've had cameras.
I'm in Huntington Beach, and if I didn't have kids, I would not be in Huntington Beach. I would not be here.
Why is that? That's interesting. Why?
I don't like the overpopulation anymore.
Okay.
I find most of my time when I go out, like we went out to a movie last night, I told you, right?
Yes.
The moment
The Conjuring, by the way, not a superhero movie.
I like paranormal activity stuff. I'm becoming.
I do too, but good ones.
It's not like I don't like to go out, socialize with our friends, is what we did. And I came home feeling pretty happy because, you need that as a human being.
From time to time.
But that's why we're doing this, right?
Right.
But
this is our venting audience.
Yes, it is. This is, sorry. If we
this is our polite.
You want to hear about the market update, you've come to the wrong place.
Yes. We'll get to that. If you came here for real estate stuff, we'll cover it later.
But I can tell you, I got out of the car in the parking lot at the theater area, big outdoor mall. And then I'm looking around and I'm like, oh man, I'd rather be home right now. And I'm telling you.
When you just said you don't want to be in Huntington, though.
I'm talking about like just general socializing and being out in the world, and the 405 freeway and the overcrowded and the lines and the high cost of living here. And someone's always got road rage. It doesn't matter if I drive like a grandma, if I'm trying to avoid people, someone's always pissed.
Not to cut you off, but how much was a night at the movies?
Okay. The concessions were $85. Okay. Just concessions. And then, of course, each ticket's $25, right? So $185, right? For 4 people to go see a movie.
That's part of the problem.
And I hate driving, like my office is 1.2 miles from my house. So when I have to get on a freeway, I'm reminded.
I love that you know the 1.2 part.
Yeah.
Go ahead, keep going.
3 minutes is my record to get here. Jeez. when I got all the lights. I guess I'm just saying, like, I've got less tolerance for the road ragers, the overcrowded stuff, the high cost of living. Everyone's always got a nasty look on their face. So maybe I'm being a pessimist, but I think I'd prefer maybe a slower cadence and maybe a little bit more nature with this concrete jungle we're surrounded by.
Okay, so
that's why. I'm not saying, hey, I've got the Shangri-La. Part of me actually wants to, when things like 10 years from now, kids are grown, businesses have an exit strategy, we'll probably spend half of our time in Santa Barbara wine country.
Okay.
Right? Much lower population, way more nature. You got the vineyards, you got the ocean, and you can go into these small, quaint towns. Like that feels like.
Are you talking like Los Olivos?
San
Alamos.
Yeah,
okay.
Los Alamos, yep.
San Ynez.
I love that.
Well,
to give you a general understanding
amazing.
of that vibe, that's the vibe I would like to settle into.
Sure.
I don't want to. I just don't like the overpopulation here.
Yeah,
it's too much.
I agree with all that. I think that, but if you look at this, is where this comes up. Is becoming a conundrum, or has already become a conundrum? I'm super into Park City. By the way,
Utah. Yes, we were
licensed in Utah and Idaho. Everybody, Utah and Idaho. But I love Park City. I've been going there for 25 years. Yeah. It's great. But if you look at Park City 25 years ago, what I loved about it was the open space, the quaintness of the town, how everybody's super friendly to everybody, all that. Fast forward 25 years, well, everyone else liked that too.
Yeah.
Everyone else liked the quaintness of the town. Now there's just every nook and cranny. They're building on every. I remember when that was just dirt. Well, now it's a hotel.
Would you say it lost its magic?
Losing.
But
I think where we live now, so my wife was born in Huntington Beach. she remembers very well what it was like when she was a kid. I don't, because I've only been in Huntington for 30 years.
Yeah.
But
Long time.
Still a long time, but she remembers further back than that. And so she remembers when Huntington was quaint, which is fascinating for me to hear, because I don't have
How long ago was that?
Yeah, seriously, right? My wife's 97. No, but the losing the quaintness, I think, happens automatically in these kinds of places, because you're attracted to it, so is everyone else, and then what? Then what happens?
I know, and Huntington.
And we're in a business that actually causes a lot of it, because building is a big part of it.
Yeah, I know the government's like really developing downtown too, allowing all the new zoning projects and everything. But
with all the condos. Yeah, wonderful idea.
I know, but one thing I was gonna say is, like, I'll give you an example. Summertime is my least favorite time of year.
Of course, I don't go through Main Street.
Yeah.
If I'm on PCH, I cut up Beach. Yeah, because I live on the other side of town. I cut up Beach and I go around it.
It's in Huntington.
It's awful.
Well, besides from I'm not a hot weather person. I can't stand August or September.
Nope.
Fall can't come soon enough. But summertime hits, right? And here's what happens. Police helicopters are over my head 24/7.
Yep.
Okay. Sirens.
That's a newer invention.
Sirens every 5 minutes. Okay. Going by. And then we're right on the green belt on 92646. Sorry. I know where I live, I promise.
I do.
And so the green belt during
I've driven by your house many times. Usually at 3 a.m.
Right. There's big green belt in the walk path. Usually it's cute old people with their dogs and moms with the strollers. But more and more, especially during summertime, kids with their e-bikes, and some of them with their modded e-bikes doing 60 miles an hour down the green belt past old ladies and dogs.
Okay.
Right. Yelling, right? Sorry, I don't know if I can say this stuff right now, but like at one point, one of them wanted to accost my kids playing basketball in their cul-de-sac. Right.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I'm like, I don't like it here anymore. I got to be honest. Like, if I was in a gated community, maybe I'd feel differently. But like, I'm exposed to all of it because I could see everyone coming through the green belt right there. Well,
it's funny you bring up the e-bike thing, because I'm involved in several HOAs. Part of it with where I live. Part of it was just the job that I do.
Yeah.
E-bikes is on every single agenda, every single minute. When you go through the CCR, it's horrible.
Yeah.
It's horrible. I don't know how they fix it. Because when it first started, I was kind of like, I don't know if this is a good idea.
Yeah.
Not just because you're kind of putting somebody on a motorcycle that's really not prepared to and doesn't have a driver's
They're underdeveloped brains and they're boys, But on top of that, we're talking about 13-year-old, 14-year-old, 15-year-old idiots.
But it's turned into more of a gang mentality.
I know.
And that's where I think if you are, let's say you are an HOA, how do you control that? I mean, that's not really something that CCNRs were ever designed to do. You could say maybe noise nuisance.
Yeah.
I don't know how you work with
Fix
that.
the parents. Okay, so first
how
of all,
do you do that?
I don't know. It's a bigger question, right? Because in my garage,
I say that's impossible.
We have electric dirt bikes that go 70 miles an hour. We have e-bikes, Super 73s.
But where do you ride those?
We don't ride those around town, and I forbid them to. We take them to Lake Isabella, Mojave Desert, or Big Bear.
Okay.
And then we ride them out in the wilderness, right? That's where we do it. And by the way, they have their Super 73s that go 20 miles an hour. And my kids are like, I don't want to deal with the pissing people off. So they don't even use
Yeah, but you're implying, what you're taking is here's me as a parent.
Yeah.
You're going, this is me as a parent.
Right.
And this is how I'm going to overlay this on top of my kids.
Yeah.
How do you force that?
You don't.
Right. And is that problem?
So you just got to make the consequence severe enough, in my opinion, to where they're like, oh, shoot, I can't do this.
Well, so I think it comes full circle with boundaries. I think
make the parents responsible for some sort of misdemeanor, a higher level misdemeanor, and potentially a felony, depending on how egregious the act is. Because at the end of the day, these are minors. When they do that, it's got to land on the parents, and make it to the point where it's like, oh, I'm facing like probation or jail time if I let this continue.
Yeah, I think you take a place like Huntington Beach, where we are right now, that doesn't have a super high crime level. I mean, it's got crime. Every city has crime, but it's not like crazy high here. So in a city like Huntington, could the cops, do they have the time and the resources and all of that to enforce e-bike stuff a bit more if they crack down on it? I think probably.
Yeah.
I mean, I go on the beach path, the one that goes all the way across. I go on it all the time. I've almost been run over by a bike.
It makes you not want to walk on that thing anymore.
That's the problem. What scares me is that there's going to be, you see like little, 2-3-year-old kids running from the parking lot.
Yeah.
This beach path is, 15
Well, those
feet
kids aren't
long.
paying attention.
No, I know, but
They're
if
being
one of them gets
toddlers.
hit by an e-bike,
They're dead, potentially.
probably,
Yeah.
or highly injured,
Right.
and it's like, well, we can't do something
Yeah.
about that. That's what frustrates me, because I feel like some of these problems are easy to solve.
Yeah.
I don't think they're all like sit in a room with 5 rocket scientists to figure it out. I think some of them have simple solutions.
Yeah.
But there's no will to do anything about them, because if you do it, you're going to offend somebody.
Yeah.
And it's like, we just don't want to offend anybody.
Well, this goes
Like,
back
well,
to the poor cops who have like an impossible job.
I think their job is impossible.
Yeah.
But I do think there's enforceability available on something like that. I think the other part is boundaries. If you ask somebody today, this is so different from when I was a kid, and maybe I might have a hard time ever wrapping my brain around this one. If you were a kid and you said, hey, this is my boundary, most of the time people went, okay, cool. Today, you might as well ask them to cross the boundary.
Right.
By saying like, this is a boundary,
Yeah.
it just feels like today everyone wants to go, oh man, how do I violate that? Which is such a weird change in mentality.
But think about it, like,
that's a mental change.
but think about the comment section on social media, like keyboard warriors. It starts as a keyboard warrior, right?
Yes.
And they feel emboldened. So eventually that evolves and translates over and spills into the real world, I would assume. That's probably where it starts.
Buddy of mine used to say everyone's a tough guy when they're in their basement.
Yeah.
and I think what you just said actually touches on that, because that's kind of what it is. Like I can, with total anonymity, I can say horrendous things.
Yeah.
Nothing happens. There's no consequence.
Right.
There's no nothing. So what does that eventually over time bleed to? Yeah, I think it I think it bleeds into this very brazen thing that people have now.
Yeah.
That I think is so unhealthy.
But
it's
again,
so
I
unhealthy.
think we're probably just losing a bit of our value system as a country, because this goes back to parenting. I really do think it does.
It does, but again, how do you, if you've got a solution on how to fix that one, you'll make $1 billion. You'll never need to do a loan again.
I don't know, man. Go back to church, even though I don't go.
So religion, I know we probably don't want to talk about religion.
It's more than just religion, though. It's more like having some basic community structure, tribe, sense of purpose. Like, to put the religious aspect aside and whatever your belief system is. I'm more just like, hey, don't be,
So I'm not, full disclosure, I'm not religiously brilliant at all, but I know enough to know like the gist of, let's say, the 10 Commandments.
Yeah.
If you take out the first 3, the rest of them are pretty much be a good person.
Yeah.
They're worded differently. It may say, do not steal, or do not kill, or do not commit adultery, whatever. But if you just kind of sum up the last 7, it's like, just be a good person.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether there's so much objection in the world to even fighting over something like that. It's like, well, but it also says, you only have one God. Okay, forget that.
That's what I mean. Forget that.
Put that aside.
Right.
The rest of them say, be good.
Yeah.
Don't use the Lord's name in vain. Why should I have to worry about it? Okay, fine. Don't worry about that.
Right.
But the parts of it that suggest being a good human, can you just do those parts? I think people don't want to. I hate to say that, and I hate that I feel that way. I feel that people are actually okay being less than a good person.
COVID had a lot to do with this, I think. It's interesting because 9/11.
That's interesting.
9/11 did the opposite. It brought people together.
Yes, for sure.
At least temporarily, until all the pretend wars started, or what should have been pretend wars. That was different. The initial reaction brought people together. COVID,
because we felt attacked.
Yeah. Like, you got to rally together. COVID was the opposite, like completely the opposite. And I think, like, my wife.
No one felt attacked. Well, not in the way 9/11 was.
My wife was attacked at the grocery store because she forgot to put her mask on.
Right.
This is a mom in a rush, innocently forgot to put her mask on, and a lady got triggered and started taking her cart and ran at her to ram her.
In the grocery store.
Who's with me? Let's get her.
You're kidding me.
No, that's not an embellished joke or anything.
Well, that's scary.
So, like,
that's scary. I know.
I'm saying, like, the divisiveness, the way the government handled it, the authoritarianism, you shall not pass, right? Can't leave your house, got to wear a mask. And then it was like, it became political now, right? Because like, well, I'm a Democrat, so I have to believe all these things, and I'm a Republican, so now I don't believe all these things. Like, and then it became so divisive, like, and then, you know, service at restaurants all of a sudden is, you know, noticeably lower. The bar's noticeably lower. The way people treat you, like, it's just, for whatever reason, COVID just kind of ruined what little semblance of togetherness we had.
No, that's interesting. I think that if you took it at a, there's parts of it that I remember very specifically when they started to say, like, you know, that you couldn't go to the beach. And I'm not a doctor. I have no medical training.
Yeah.
I'm the last person you want to probably ask a medical question to. But the objective part of my brain went, well, hold on a second. Why would the beach hurt me?
Right.
I mean, there's not much there. There's sand.
Yeah.
There's water. There's wind. Is it the wind blowing the germs around?
Right.
Like, because if that's the case, I think we're probably all dead.
Yeah.
And this is just doing a little critical thinking.
Yeah.
Because if the
shutting
wind's the
down
beach,
national parks, you know.
places that have like the most open space, because this is where I think we also have lost a little bit of critical thinking. Again, I'm not a doctor, and I know nothing about herd immunity or anything like that, but it would just seem to me that if you put 1 million people in a city, in a major metropolitan city, versus letting them spread out, objectively it seems like that would be the better way to do it. But they took all that away.
Yeah.
And that's where it kind of was like, well, this is going back to your 9/11 thing. In 9/11, it's sort of like we all banded together as Americans. We just got attacked, and we're going to work together. Like, everyone was, I don't want to say friends, but I mean, everyone was pretty cool with everyone. I remember that time pretty well. COVID was the opposite in terms of not only were we not cool with everybody, but your story alludes to this. So kind of to your point, we kind of came at each other harder than we ever had prior to that.
Yeah.
And I don't know that as we go back to my point, I'm not sure that we've lost that. I feel like something about just treating each other well, being good humans, being good to each other went away. And I feel like it's still there. And I feel like we see it in our business. I don't know if you want to use this as like a door into the business, but I feel like the business has turned into, who do I blame? And shouldn't be that kind of business. Selling a house, regardless of what people think, there's a lot of people who don't like moving parts, don't like houses. They would never make a good realtor. They would never make a good lender, because it's such an open-ended thing. Things go wrong. You're reliant on so many people. Even like the lender side is actually a great example of this, because you're the face of it. The client calls you, hey, Jay, can you do this? Da, da, da. But you're not the end of it. You've got underwriters. You've got other people that are looking at the file. You've got people that are signing off on it somewhere else. You've got the investor with the actual money. You don't have control over what you do. You can't control what the underwriter throws back at you. And how many times have you gotten something back from the underwriter and went, what are you talking about? It's a very messy business. And to try to just go into it and be like, who do I blame? You know, if you don't, on my end of it, it would be like, my neighbor got this. If you don't get that for me in 2 months, then the listing agreement is over. I can't control what happens in the world over the next 2 months. I can do some smart things.
The value of relationship is what we're losing.
Yes, that's you just said something very quickly that I struggled to say.
You're right.
5 minutes.
It's all transactional now.
It's all transactional. Everything. There's no, I mean, not that there's a ton of these, but like, do you walk into the bakery anymore and have a 10-minute conversation with the person behind the counter? No, you walk in and I'd like this, da da da. Up, you overcharged me by 50 cents. Where's the manager? Rather than being like, hey, I think this is just off by a little bit. You know, can you just take a look real fast? Like, oh yeah, shoot, sorry about that. There you go. Okay, no problem.
I hear you.
But it's immediately like, everything is scorched earth.
We're losing our humanity.
Everything is scorched earth right away.
Virtue signaling, outrage society, scorched earth, cancel culture.
Cancel culture is still out there.
It's a bummer. But so, like, part of the reason I feel like I say I'd like to get out of here at some point is I just want to be around less people because of this. right? I just want to be around less of the noise and the chaos.
I mean, San Ynez isn't empty, but you have a lot of space around it.
Oh, yes.
That's the thing.
I mean, it's pretty low population, all things considered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're going to take Huntington and compare it to, compare it to San Ynez.
Like 200,000+ people here, yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure we got more than that.
Look at LA and Orange County, everywhere you go.
I think
the freeway. Yeah.
Closer to 300,000 here, but yeah.
Yeah, and I appreciate the fact that we have food and, entertainment, but honestly, food and entertainment out is less and less appealing to me. Like restaurants, mostly I don't like. It has to be a special restaurant, but we just like cooked a steak at home. We as a family went to the butcher shop we picked out the steak as a family. We went home. We went in the pool. We barbecued.
We may need a plug there. What's the butcher shop?
Beef Butchery. No, Beef Palace is great, but like my wife loves the butchery in Newport on 17th.
Sorry, keep going.
And we got these crazy ribeyes, and like I'm like eating this and hanging out with the family. I'm like, man, like this is so much better than anything I could get at a Mastro's steakhouse or something like that. And then the theater, like it was hot. They weren't running the air. We're like sardine canned in with a bunch of strangers. Mm-hmm. You can't talk because someone goes, shh, and you're like, okay, I don't want to be here. Right. I got a big screen with surround sound at home, and I can cook my own steak, and no one's telling me what to do or not to do.
Yeah. You know what sucks? So I was in Big Bear yesterday.
Yeah.
Sort of an unplanned thing. It was very spur of the moment.
You were in Big Bear yesterday?
Yesterday.
Oh.
We ran up there. We ran up there very quickly.
This was a pleasure trip?
I guess you could kind of say that.
Oh, acknowledge it.
Yeah. Whatever. So I'd smack you if I could reach you. So, but what triggered it wasn't so much the Big Bear part of it, and I love Big Bear. I that's the type of place I could live.
Yeah.
But what was interesting was this is the worst food I have ever had.
It was terrible.
And I've been eating up at Big Bear for 50 years. That was the worst
had
food.
Good food though.
Oh, there's some...
I don't know.
Oh, then no, there's definitely places that do.
Okay.
And I went to one of those places yesterday.
Yeah.
And it was terrible. And it wasn't just me. The family was like,
what the heck?
Was the food on this trip? I'm like, yep.
Not
and
good.
The problem is when you start getting good at making your own ribeye.
I know.
When you go to Costco and you buy fillets and they're like, they're amazing, and you learn how to season it and you learn how to let it sit and let it rest and when you get good at that, it makes going to Mastro like why would I go to Mastro's and spend $100 on my fillet?
Right.
When I can spend $100 on 4 of them.
I know.
And have it be amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the extreme example, you're right. I wanted to once.
These are 1%er problems, by the way. So I apologize to anybody that's offended
so
by this.
Terrible, huh?
This is bad.
I took the kids.
Should we talk about Hendrix versus... No, go ahead.
Well, that's fine if you'd like. What kind of...
I don't know if you can
weigh in on it. What kind of blue cheese stuffed olives do you like?
Homemade.
See?
Homemade. It has to be homemade.
When we did the rookie mistake at one point of dressing our kids up in tuxedos and going to Mastro's on the Valentine's Day weekend. It wasn't Valentine's. Stop.
What?
This was years ago.
Okay. Right.
So we learned our lesson, right? Obviously, everyone knows at this point, don't do a restaurant on Valentine's. But it wasn't Valentine's Day. It was Valentine's Day.
Everyone always knew that, but yeah.
I thought maybe because it was like 2 days removed, we'd be okay. And I was wrong. And again, it was a miserable experience, right? The servers are sweating, there's sweat dripping off their face. They forgot that the moment you told them what you want, they already forgot, right? They forgot you for 30 minutes. You just want a refill of your soda, right? Like it's like I think that's an extreme
soda.
At the time, I think I was sober then.
Oh, okay. Well,
so this is about 3 years ago.
Okay,
but. All I'm saying that I know that's an extreme example.
My martini.
I know that's an extreme example, but I'm too antsy. I'm an ADD kid. Like I eat fast. I don't like sitting at a restaurant for 2 or 3 hours. Like especially when I'm ready to have my bill given to me and I want to go, but the server has vanished and I'm waiting for 30 minutes when I'm already ready to go. Like I don't know. I want to be home.
Do you rush through dinner at home though?
We try to be good about, if we're doing like a family meal, a barbecue, no.
Okay.
If it's during the week, yes.
During the week is because you have other things going on. Yeah, okay. But I'm saying like general, if you're like, hey, we're going to do family dinner Saturday night, I'm going to make some ribeyes, potatoes, whatever it is you're going to do. Do you try to rush through that meal?
No.
It's the restaurant that's the difference. You're rushing through it because you're trying to get home.
Yeah.
That's the only difference. If you were enjoying that meal, you're still going to rush through it.
That's true.
Because you're still trying to get home.
That's true.
That's a you thing.
It is a me thing. I'm a homebody.
Yeah.
I'll admit it.
Yeah. No, I am too, actually. I don't disagree with you on that at all.
When I was young, I wanted to go to the beach. I wanted to go to Disneyland. I loved crowds. I am the opposite of that today.
When you were a kid, where did you want to live? If you had to pick like a general area.
New York City.
Oh, well, man, then you've come a long way. You've let that dream go.
Oh, that will not be happening, this version of me. But like, honestly, if you're in your 20s and, you want to learn and travel and grow or intern somewhere, that's where I would want to do it.
Yeah, the city's cool. Growing up in the Valley, to me, like the beach was that would be success. If I could get out of the Valley, get through college, get a good job, and one day buy a home at the beach, that was my version of I've made it. Yay me. Fast forward to today, I want to live by a lake in the mountains with a lot of space around me.
Right.
Ideas change. Things change. You could say, well, but you do live at the beach. I don't want to live at the beach anymore.
Yeah.
It's not, and some of that is because what you said before is true. Some of it is just not what it used to be. But I think maybe our particular industry gets so claustrophobic on you over time. Where you mentally feel the crowding of it. And since it's very hard to undo, for me, you're probably better at this, but for me, it's very hard to undo that mental clouding, but I can do it physically. I can give myself a place to physically be where I don't feel crowded.
Yeah.
And that does help.
Yeah.
But mentally, I mean, my phone's already rung a bunch of times just sitting here. It doesn't end. And how do you get away from that? Again, I think you're better at this, but like, I try to answer my phone every time I can. I try to respond to someone within a minute if I can.
Yeah.
And so that, is that going to work in a crowded place like Huntington Beach? Is that going to work? Are you ever being able to clear your head out? I don't think so. At least not for me.
Yeah.
I need more physical space to try to do that. Even just being in Big Bear, we ended up going on the lake because there was time. It was kind of a random, weird day where I had that kind of time. I didn't have a lot going on. My phone wasn't blowing up. And we ended up going on the lake for a few hours. And I was like, yeah, see, this is how my head starts to
calm down.
For sure.
Yeah.
There's a quiet there.
Yeah.
And I think for me, it's going to have to be a physical quiet.
I think so. We can physically feel our nervous systems calming down once we get out of LA and into Ventura County and those rolling hills with the oak trees start. I can physically...
Like Camarillo? Like we did like Camarillo?
I can feel my body softening.
Yeah. Have you ever been to Ojai?
Yeah. Oh, sure.
Have you been to like the
resort?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to talk about calm?
I know.
That is a peaceful, hidden little place.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ventura County's underrated. It's funny that you bring that one up.
It's so funny you're saying that. We're
Point Doom.
Ashley, hi. So a loan officer we're recruiting lives in Ventura and is going to own that market for us. She's coming to our branch.
Wow.
Yeah, she's really good. But
that's
anyway,
a great part of California.
I like Ventura.
Yeah,
I do.
It's one that everyone glosses over because obviously LA is the biggest. It's like
I can't stand LA.
There's positive, but you got to know the positive parts. The San Fernando Valley still has some great areas.
Sure, Pasadena. I want to go to Huntington Park. Stuff like that. Sure, right?
No,
With the observatory, yes. But like,
I think Woodland Hills is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I think Encino is a nice place to live. Calabasas is a bit expensive, but it's really some really nice homes out there. Yeah. I think the Valley still has a lot of nice stuff.
Yeah.
But there's more bad, I think, at least from a real estate standpoint, that outweighs that. And unless you have the type of money where you can live in Bel Air or Brentwood and have some actual space.
Yeah.
Because those are beautiful homes.
Oh, sure.
But they're crazy expensive. So you really have to be like, I'm going to buy a $10 million house.
Yeah.
And then you can have a lot of physical space.
Yeah.
Malibu, but Malibu, you got the fires, obviously you got to deal with that. So that's a little tough. Ventura doesn't have that.
Yeah.
It's got a whole different vibe to it. It's when I was a kid, have you ever been to Leo Carrillo, the beach? So that's sort of the beach when you leave LA County, you pass out of Malibu. And Malibu continues from... There's a real estate trivia question
I thought that
for
was
you.
Trestles. Wasn't that Trestles?
Well, Trestles is there too.
Yeah.
But Malibu actually has parts of LA County and Ventura.
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew that. So anyway, you continue through. There was a beach we used to surf at called Leo Carrillo State Beach. Still there. But as you keep going through Ventura, like most people just use it as a pass through to get to your Santa Barbara area, which is nice.
Yeah.
But Santa Barbara is pretty busy.
It is.
State Street
downtown.
is crowded.
Yeah, I don't like downtown Santa Barbara. I'm more just the wine country guy.
Yeah, I mean you're kind of almost, I mean, I don't know, it doesn't feel at all like Santa Barbara at that point.
No.
I kind of, the second you hit what's where pea soup Anderson's used to be, Buellton. The second you hit Buellton, it's like you're in a different world.
I'm telling you, man, that's my vibe, though. I love it. Put on some classical music, you know.
Do you ever look at real estate?
Sit under a shade tree. Lorraine does constantly.
She looks at it.
Oh, every single night. She's scrolling. Honey, look at this one. It's $3.5 million, honey.
I know.
Yeah, we just had 3 years of the worst market in a generation. We will be buying out there, just not now.
Yeah. I Los Olivos is probably my favorite spot up there.
Yeah, me too.
That little main street.
Yeah,
and then
that cute little eclectic store with all the outdoor gardening knickknacks. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about with the big red chair.
I do.
Yeah.
Have you gone into little tasting rooms that are all there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like
Drinking
Andrew
games,
Murray,
yes.
and there's quite a few. Yeah.
That's the part about drinking I do miss, right? If I miss anything,
tasting?
it's that stuff.
Yeah.
Everything else I could take or leave.
Did you do Napa?
I did Napa.
Did you like?
We were younger, and it was amazing. Oh, it was incredible. It was like November. We went on Thanksgiving weekend.
See, as like Napa is to me. So San Ynez was always my favorite. Something about the vibe.
Yeah.
Because we look for a very specific vibe when we're wine tasting, and it goes along with like kind of being in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And that I like. Napa is not in the middle of nowhere. You're driving by like Staples.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Pulling into a shopping center for the next. Yeah, it's so busy. Now, if you can get outside of that, and for anyone offended, yes, you can get off to Silverado Trail,
right?
And there are other things you can get to, but mainline Napa.
I don't remember what it's called.
I don't know. I would take Paso over that. The west side of Paso. Paso, you're driving up through the hills and the mountains. And you're winding through. There's a couple you could be on like a dirt road.
We like fall there. I like spring there. Fall and spring is when we like to go.
For Paso.
Paso and Santa Barbara wine country, just for the.
Yeah. Sure.
You know, the pumpkin feel, the fall feel, or the harvest, time.
Right. But even like all the east side of Paso starts to get a little bit more city-like.
Yeah.
And it's not as fun.
Yeah.
Like it's everything west of the 101. Like that's where the cool, funky little old castles out there.
Yeah. Less population, more nature, a little more magical, more eclectic, like it's just more space, less noise. It's just quiet.
Yeah. We do have, when you said before about the helicopters, I remember thinking when we bought our house how quiet it was. And it probably at least once, maybe twice a night, the helicopters flying overhead, looking for somebody, looking for something. And I'm like, when did that change? Like, when did that happen?
I know.
But it's kind of bad.
Yeah, it is. It is, yeah.
As I'm turning everybody off to Huntington Beach.
Well... I mean, look, it's beach city.
I lied. It's all great. Please buy it.
It's beach city weather. It's obviously a desirable place to live. We love the Hilton. We love the Hyatt. We love the food culture that's starting to become a little bit better. Whatever.
Well, I still think we have probably the nicest beaches in all of Orange County, and 9 miles of it, and only one little teeny tiny section where you could buy a house on the sand. So it's condos, the 711 condos. But outside of that, I mean, unobstructed.
Is that
beach.
the harbor?
No.
Where is that?
It's just so if you're at the pier, it's to the right of the pier.
Oh, okay. Facing the pier or facing inland?
No, it's the only ones that are on the sand side.
Oh. I'm trying to remember what you're talking about.
It's 711 PCH.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's so Matt, right next to the pier there's what do they call it? Pier Plaza?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then there's like I don't know the name of it because I don't ever eat down there, but there's a little snack shack kind of place. If you just walk around the bend from there toward the playground, there's a kids playground.
That's what you're talking about.
It's right next to it.
Yeah.
It's a little gated.
Condos?
They were originally built as apartments when they were first built.
I thought they were apartments. Yeah.
Yeah, they did condo conversion a long time ago.
Interesting.
One just a penthouse just sold for 1.7 ish.
Not bad. On the other hand,
tiny.
But I wouldn't want to be in the heart of that, to be honest with you. I don't think I would.
Money being no object?
Like if it was more okay,
money's no object.
Money's no object.
You wouldn't be interested in that.
No. Like I would want maybe
I don't know about that.
Laguna Beach somewhere.
Oh gosh, no.
I'm talking. Sawdust Festival. Like
no.
That's my thing. Yeah, I like that.
Oh god, if no one ever
like
wants to listen to me in Laguna, it's okay. It's okay. I am so not. You want to talk about avoiding PCH in summer?
Yeah.
Oh, I will break my back to not drive through Laguna.
Well, yeah. I mean the driving and the traffic is awful.
No.
It's not fine. Or try to come down the 73 or what is that?
Newport Coast is as far as I want to go. That's it. That's it. Once you hit Crystal Cove, I'm making a U-turn.
I know.
Yes.
South Orange County does feel like an entirely different.
That's got to be a food thing with you.
Yeah.
With Laguna. That's got to be a food thing.
I love the food.
The food's
I like the little downtown. Again, I like.
Yeah, but getting
the
to
water.
downtown's
The
a
water's cleaner. The water's cleaner.
Okay, where do you park?
Oceans are pretty.
Where do you park to get into the water?
Oh, it's horrible. I know.
Oh gosh. Oh yeah. No, not.
It's
nope.
like a hippie vibe, and I like it.
Hey, okay. So this will be my controversial statement for the day. If you gave me a house in Laguna,
He wouldn't take it.
no, I would put it on the market tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah, I'd take the money and buy somewhere else. Yeah, no way. I would sell it tomorrow. I'd probably sell it for a discount. If someone wants to give me a house in Laguna, I will sell it for a discount. I will give you a referral fee just to prove it. Just to prove it. Yeah, no.
Wow, you don't like Laguna.
I'd rather be in Dana Point than Laguna.
Well, you were originally an LA guy, right?
Yeah, I'm from the Valley.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that would just
This is
be
why
my...
you know things about like entertainment industry.
No, I love the industry.
Wasn't that
I love
part
it.
of your former life or something like that?
It was. Maybe it'll be part of it again. But see, so the Valley is not really where I grew up. Wasn't so much. I'm going to say Hollywood people. I don't know how we want to cover this, but like behind the scenes people more lived in the Valley. So you cameramen, directors of photography, editors, things like
Set
that.
creators.
Yeah, the celebrities not so much. The celebrities were actors and actresses were generally somewhere else. But Calabasas had quite a bit. And to this day, Calabasas has
Justin Bieber's of the world,
the Kardashians.
Yeah.
They live there. There's a couple of really nice, very, very cool gated communities there. One's called Hidden Hills. One's called Bell Canyon. There's a couple of others, but they're great. They're actually, I'd live in them in a heartbeat. Some of them have horseback trails that go through them. Your lots are very big.
Yeah.
That's a pretty nice area.
Sort of sounds like San Juan Capistrano a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's a fair comparison. Yeah. But again, you get crazy. It's more expensive in Hidden Hills than it is in San Juan.
Yeah.
And some of that is because there are industry people there. So there's a lot of money that passes through there. But a lot of times they're also in Beverly Hills, again, Bel Air and Brentwood. I think that's kind of where you get a bit more of it. But lately, because we're talking about the beach, a lot of people when I was a kid, their big dream was to live in Hermosa or Manhattan Beach. Mm-hmm. Those were like...
That was the epicenter of,
And that has gotten so expensive to where
That's where all the athletes live, I think.
Yeah, but it doesn't make sense. Do you know the tall skinnies that we have downtown Huntington that sell for $3 million?
Yeah.
Give or take?
Yeah.
Same house in Hermosa goes for $10 million.
Oh, my God.
Explain that.
Yeah.
Explain it.
That's LA. And it's a little more beautiful, like on the hillsides too, and all that with the views.
Yeah, I mean, and those have views. Those are, the ones here that have views are closer to 4, but still, it doesn't really make sense.
Let's segue into your take on the market and interest rates real quick. But before we do that, Colossus versus Wolverine, who wins? I'm going Colossus because he's my guy. I was the guy that liked the least favorite X-Men member of all time.
Man, you want to talk about a crappy question. So I'm assuming this is...
Crappy question?
Well, yeah, because there's reasons that it's crappy. Because Colossus's frame isn't made of adamantium.
No.
So I'm assuming in this question, we're dealing with Wolverine, full-blown adamantium Wolverine.
Yeah, obviously. But
Wolverine
on the other hand, this is like some sort of magical space steel alloy. The question is, does adamantium get through his... steel cover?
First of all, this fight probably goes on for a very long time.
This is Google worthy. We got to figure this out.
I think Wolverine.
I know 9 out of 10 people are going to say Wolverine, but I'm sticking with Colossus.
Well, the healing factor. I mean, so Colossus, let's say, does some damage.
Yeah.
Unless he rips his arms off, which how are you going to do that with adamantium?
Him.
Again, but with adamantium, you can't get through. That's why I clarified my answer up front. It's a good fight. I'm taking Wolverine.
Okay.
I respect you taking Colossus.
Yeah.
I think that's ballsy of you.
I just love him. I can't handle it.
I love him too. I mean, Dark Phoenix just
he was so good in Deadpool.
Thinks about both of them and turns them both into dust. So there's definitely Magneto, problem for both of them.
Oh yeah, that'd be a problem for both of them. But
there are
matchups matter. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to get really into the weeds, the Sentry probably screws both of them up pretty bad too.
Who's the Sentry?
Roberts, I think. Don't quote me on that. Internet, if I got it wrong, but I think Robert.
Why is that going over my head? What was his power?
He's like he's the Marvel version of Superman, but he has a dark side called the Void.
Okay.
They actually used him in that Thunderbolts movie.
You are way nerdier than me.
I'm super nerdy.
Yeah.
I'm extremely nerdy. Yeah.
I don't know. So you didn't ever lose your love affair with, because I'm slowly returning to it as, getting into my 40s. Like your 20s and your 30s, you're still trying to figure out how to make a living, who you are as a human being, raise a family.
Sure.
Everything goes by the wayside for the most part. It did for me anyways. And now that I'm in this stage where things are a little bit more established and I'm a little more comfortable in my own skin, confident, like now I'm like, oh, let's revisit these things from my childhood.
Doing a beard. Yeah. No, I never lost it. I've been into this since I was 3 years old and have never lost, probably just as into it now.
You kept the magic. Interesting.
I did. I did. I mean, the first movie I ever saw was Star Wars in a theater with my dad and my brother, but when I was a little kid, and just never lost it.
Yeah. I'm into sci-fis. I want to see a better Prometheus sequel. That's what I want to see.
Boy,
They botched the sequel. They ruined it.
The alien conversation alone could be a whole nother podcast.
Yeah.
And I am more than willing to have that one. So Alien Covenant is a terrible movie. It's absolutely horrible. Right. So I just pretend it doesn't exist. Prometheus, I saw a lot of really great ideas.
Yeah.
It was the
sequel was going to be like supposed to be the big setup for a cool situation.
Yeah, I think if you go back and watch Prometheus, though, there's also some mistakes.
Yeah.
What I've heard, the guy that wrote it, his name is John Spaeths, and what I heard is that the screenplay that he wrote, things I've heard just talking to people that kind of are, I'm still connected to that business in some ways, and I've heard that the issues that I have with the movie were actually solved in his screenplay, and that makes perfect sense. Because when I watch it, I'm like, why did they, you should have done it. And apparently those were changes that happened during filming, which is what happens. Covenant's just a bad movie.
Yeah.
It's just a bad movie. But Aliens, in my opinion, I want to ask you, greatest movie sequel of all time, in my opinion, is James Cameron's Aliens. Because the original Ridley Scott Alien, great movie.
That's fine. I don't get as much out of the original Aliens, plural, where they all get the machine guns and stuff.
Yeah, the Marines.
So good.
The Colonial Marines.
Yes, that was it's the best.
I think that's the greatest movie sequel ever, though.
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe Empire Strikes Back. You could make an argument there.
Yeah.
A lot of people say Terminator 2.
Terminator 2 for sure. I mean, to be honest with you, Terminator 2 might be the best, but I hear what you're saying.
Can you get over the acting in Terminator 2?
It's Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, he's not my problem with it.
You're talking about the
Edward Furlong
guy?
Edward Furlong.
Who's that?
No offense, buddy, if you're out there, but that was the kid. I think it was like his first acting
liked
gig.
him. So I was
you did? Okay.
That was like a 93 movie or 92?
Something like that. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So that made me 10 years old roughly. Yeah, for me, like, I was obsessed with that movie, him on the dirt bike and his screechy voice, and I thought it was a cool kid.
Aliens, to me, smokes Terminator 2.
Okay.
That's, again, controversial stuff.
Predator.
Yeah, but the second one's terrible.
Yeah, the first
I'm talking about great sequels.
Sequels, got
I probably say Aliens, Empire Strikes Back. T2 is a great sequel, for sure. I don't think it's better than those two. A lot of people will say Godfather 2. I don't agree. I think that Godfather 1 is the better movie.
Yeah, they're both really good, but I think you're right. The first one's the best.
I don't think 2 is better.
Yeah, I agree.
And on rewatch, I fast forward through, because I've seen it too many times, I fast forward through all of the flashbacks.
There's no argument. The first one's the best.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
And the third one, oh man, that was disappointing.
Well, Al Pacino became a different person, different actor compared to what he was originally.
I don't think it's so much that. I think the storyline, the Immobiliare storyline about the Vatican and the money and all that, it was only interesting to a point. Whereas everything else was more family-centric. So you're kind of more invested with like the Corleones. And then they hit you with a third movie where you're trying to get invested in Vatican bank money. And I'm like, I don't know how interested I am.
What about Dark Knight? Probably the best compared to the Joker.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, how did I not even think about that?
Yeah.
Although Batman Begins is pretty good.
That's what I mean.
That is pretty good.
Yeah.
Dark Knight's great. I'll tell you my issue with Dark Knight, though. This is just going to offend a whole bunch of people. But go back and watch. Anybody who I offend by saying this, please go back and watch the movie and just watch it through this mindset. Everything the Joker does is so improbable with what he's banking on has to have. Like, him getting arrested at the perfect moment for the perfect thing to get in the jail cell.
He's a mastermind.
Yeah, not.
It's the Joker. It's the most iconic villain in all of comics.
Listen, I love the movie.
Yeah.
Heath Ledger deserved the Oscar,
Yeah.
without a doubt. I mean, he was absolutely incredible.
May he rest in peace.
But the coincidences that have to happen for that movie to
Of course, it's absurd.
are absurd.
Yeah.
There's none of that.
Well, the
Batman
Batman
Begins.
story itself is absurd. If
No, not at all.
going
Batman's
to
real.
Bruce Wayne.
No,
is.
now okay. Now you're talking crazy. Batman's totally real. He's fine.
There's a billionaire down the road with a very
Probably.
giant mansion, the Dark Bat Cave, and everyone's wondering who.
You're talking
Batman
to somebody that thinks Yetis are real. So, what are we going to do here? Because you can't argue it, because you can't survive in the Himalayas. What are you going to do, Jay?
Well, besides, I know
Can you live
I
at
know I'm not
20,000
going to
feet?
win an argument with you anyways. So.
Can you live at 20,000 feet? No.
20,000
Yeti?
feet? No.
Yeah,
No.
but a Yeti can.
Okay.
So I win. No. But the Batman...
You're my guess. You're going to win no matter what.
I just think that Batman Begins is a pretty flawless movie.
Yeah.
And I do think you have to accept a lot of coincidences for the Dark
You're
Knight
right.
to...
It
War.
had sequel-y vibes.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, Dark Knight Rises, I think could have been better.
Yeah.
That I think could have been better.
Yeah.
But Dark Knight is, I mean, look, it's
Is
an
that
awesome
the one
movie.
with Bale?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wasn't my favorite. Yeah.
That was the one with Tom Hardy was
Yeah.
Bane.
Yeah.
That's what you mean.
Everyone loved him, but I'm not understanding.
Yeah, he was fine. He's very not comic book accurate, Bane.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people were if you're like I'm a diehard, so I'm one of those people that when they
But
change.
Dark Knight, they didn't really stick to the comics, they just didn't.
No, but it didn't bother me as much.
Yeah.
Because I felt like the
'Cause
Joker.
it worked with Joker, but not necessarily Tom Hardy.
Well, because you could take more liberties, I think, with Joker because I don't really think that Heath Ledger took it outside of a Joker that you would accept. I think Tom Hardy took Bane into a place where you're just not really used to that Bane. And even though they took when Bane breaks Batman's back, that is an actual thing that happened in the comics.
Yeah.
It happened in the Batcave, whatever. This didn't feel like that, though.
Yeah,
And then
how do you pick a 5'5" British guy?
Bane's
Right?
huge.
Like, come on, just like even if you don't have to make him obnoxiously large. No,
And
like,
I love Tom Hardy.
yeah,
Great actor.
but roles matter.
I just
right?
don't think he was the right guy.
Yeah,
I mean, would it have been too early at that point to do like a Dave Bautista?
Tom Hardy's one of my favorite actors, by the way.
He's awesome.
Yeah,
He's awesome.
I just don't understand the same
But
reason.
names built more like The Rock.
It's the same reason no one liked Ben Affleck as Batman. It's like
Well, I wouldn't say no one liked him as Batman.
obviously some people did, but it did go over like a fart in church with a lot of people. You liked him.
I did.
Okay.
Well, because he's a different Batman. He's a grizzled Batman that's been getting beat up in Gotham for a long time.
Yeah.
Everyone he puts in Arkham, they all get out. He's doing it again.
Yeah.
Like, he's that guy. He's if you read, I don't know if you liked Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns, but that's one of the greatest Batman comics of all time. And that's that guy who's just like, I am tired of this.
Yeah.
I'm over it. And it's a different Batman. And
Yeah.
I very much felt
So
like
that was the vibe that you liked.
yeah, I mean, if one day I get to sit down with Zack Snyder, I'd be like, is that the Batman you were going for? Because I feel like it was. And
Yeah.
if it was, I liked it.
Yeah.
Because he's not playing hopeful Batman. He hasn't just been in doing this. Not that Batman's really ever hopeful. That's the wrong word to use for Batman anyway. But
there was some inspirational aspect to it. Yeah.
you buy very much with Christian Bale the whole do-gooder thing. And obviously Affleck's Batman, it's not
the
just
same.
being a do-gooder.
Right.
I liked it.
Yeah.
Because I
Little more
could
raw.
see it more at the end of his career.
Yeah.
And you've been doing this for, I think there's a line where he says like 20 years in Gotham.
Yeah.
How many people, have we saved? But
Right.
some kind of line like that. And yeah, I mean, anything you've done in your life for 20 years, have you been doing loans for 20 years? Are you
And that version of Batman and Loans.
are you as hopeful as you
No.
were and year two as you were?
No.
No, right. I mean,
Well, in the
time
motivation
does that
factor,
to you.
like I just don't have the patience anymore for people.
Okay.
So like,
Neither does Batman.
like good. It's hard. Like what you want to find is a loan officer that's still motivated, that has good leadership and a platform, right? So somebody who's got me as their backstop, but like is really anxious to talk to your first time home buyer. That's who you want,
Yeah. And
Yeah.
well, there's skill and
Yeah.
experience
Yeah.
that comes in the 20 years.
Right.
You're, no offense to anybody that just went out and got their loan license, you're going to do a far better job.
Totally.
Period.
Yeah.
The part that I'm talking about is how you internally,
Yeah.
we're coming full circle on this. What's going on in your head? You know where all the speed bumps are. You know where they're coming.
Yeah.
But they don't.
Yeah.
And so that newer loan agent doesn't really know yet. And so
They just don't have the experience.
they don't have the experience.
Yeah.
They may bring a little bit of a more hopeful vibe to it because of that.
Yeah.
But you're like, I'm looking at this on paper and I see it, and this is going to be a speed bump, and we should just address it now.
Right.
So it's frustrating when someone goes, well, no, let's just worry about it later.
Yeah. I'm not an over-promiser and under-deliver.
Right.
People will say, Jason Thibodeau is overly cautious, but I'm like, look,
you know how it's going to go.
I have learned so many times not to rush. And fine, if we have to rush it because you got to like make an offer and it's everyone's hair's on fire, that's fine. We'll do what we have to do, but like, don't we want to close successfully?
So here, I got one for you. So I have a closing coming up. This is about a month ago, and it's supposed to close right at the end of the month. And for various reasons, and I'm representing the seller, and for various reasons, the buyer just wants to push it into the next day, into August 1st. And I go, no, we can't do this. And they're like, why? I'm like, it's going to cause a big problem. And they're like, well, why? I don't understand. I'm like, well, my client has an FHA loan.
It's all 30 days of interest,
So they looked at me like, what are you talking about?
I don't know.
It didn't mean anything to them.
Yeah.
But I'm like, we need to keep our closing date. And they're like, no, blah, 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 whatever. And so it started to become a thing. And when it all finally like came out, it was like, well, I don't understand why an FHA loan matters. And it's what you just said. My client's going to get hit for the full loan for one day. So if you would like to pick that up, here's what we'll do. We'll prorate the entire month of August. My client will cover the cost for the day, but your client's going to pick up the rest of it because they're going to own the house.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? All of a sudden we closed on the right day. But how many realtors would even know that?
They won't. Yeah, the fact that that the
one out of a
per diem rule about FHA is a pretty obscure thing to know as a real estate agent. Most lenders should know it, but I think a lot of lenders probably don't even know about that.
Right? I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no. I know the buyer's lender didn't understand it.
Yeah, exactly.
So there you go.
Yeah. It's interesting. Yeah, it's an interesting business. I mean, I think on a positive note, we're about to see some relief.
I think so. I think so.
The writing's on the wall.
Yes.
The jobs reports are deteriorating rapidly.
Terrible. Did we see the last one?
Yeah. So, I mean,
22,000 jobs.
We got a revision to a negative print on one of them, and then obviously 75,000 or 22,000.
22,000.
Yeah, 22,000.
Yeah.
You know what's coming out tomorrow?
Well, no. Do you know where that revision's obviously going to go?
It's going negative.
Of course.
Yeah, but do you know what's coming out tomorrow?
Oh, yes.
The QCEW.
Yeah, that's right. That's not going to be good.
So this is their look back and catch up, where the census tract.
I was going to say, explain this to the audience.
The QCEW is where the census tract finally has enough time to catch up on all the data, because they're doing what a lot of people don't understand about the jobs reports, the BLS jobs reports every month, is it's kabuki theater, right? They're doing birth death model for self-employed, and of course that's been skewed to the upside when it should have been skewed to the downside. So all those numbers are fake.
This is why it gets revised so often.
Right.
Months in.
And there's all different types of seasonal adjustments for different categories. And these are literally guesses. Okay. But guesses that are skewed to the upside for whatever reason. I don't know why that is.
Politics, I'm sure.
And so last year we had 650,000 revision lower, but this year it's gotten worse, right, from an economic standpoint. So that means we could have upwards of 1 million jobs, vanish, that were never actually jobs in the first place. But of course, this is what the Fed's been basing their policy decision on the last year. We're higher for longer for no reason. All the lower class folks, all the middle class folks, the top, I would say the 75 to 80% of the population of the United States has been suffering because the Fed's following bad data. So finally, the BLS is catching up with reality. That only took 3.5 years. And now we have this QCW revision tomorrow. 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's going to get reported. Look out for that number, because if we all expect 750,000 to the downside, more or less. It could be 600. It could be 1 million. It could be 1.2 million. We don't know.
I think it's going to be more than 750. If I'm speculating, I think
I'm erring on the side of closer to 1 million. Because last year was 650. Add a bunch to that because this year's worse. So the Fed is going to have to pivot aggressively, which I actually expect a 50 basis point cut this meeting
September.
Because of what the QCW is about to reflect.
What do they mean? 17? I think 17th or 18th.
17.
I think it's gonna be half.
But the writing's on the wall, because people get it confused last year. The Fed pivoted before an election. That was suspect.
Yeah, why did they do that? I'm just wondering. The real estate agent in me just wants to know.
I mean, it's pretty obvious because it surprised everyone, and then his language changed. And I've been following the market up to that point last year like a hawk. And all of a sudden, his language, for no reason, by the way, went full dovish, 50 basis point cut, another 25, 100 basis point cuts before an election. And you're like, what the heck? And
so you're saying it was political?
I believe it was. And then you've got the reason the rates shot back up after he started cutting was not because of the fiscal concern. It was because jobs numbers started going back up with this bad data.
Right.
Like strong jobs data always means higher interest rates. And so what did we have? We had a couple hot inflation prints, a couple robust jobs numbers that actually were fabricated at the end of the day, whether it was malicious or not, I don't know. And then rates went up. Well, what's different this time around in September versus last time around in September is we're not going to be getting any rosy job pictures anymore like we did last year.
No, it's going to be bad.
So I think it took 3 years and 3.5 years basically, this higher for longer regime, knock on wood, coming to an end. I don't want to jinx myself, but I do believe we're going sub 4% on the 10-year tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, I do think, so what this has done, at least in my world, is it's really crushed that middle-class home buyer.
Yeah.
They're not buying.
No.
They're just waiting. If they already have a house and they've got a 3% rate or lower,
They can't.
there's nothing they can do. The payment doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So they're sitting tight. I'm not even going to talk about the bottom. Yeah. Let's just talk about who's buying homes. The $5 million homes are selling.
Yeah.
Why?
They got money.
They don't care. They're like, I'll refi next year.
Yeah.
They already know. They know the rate drop is coming.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably banking on June of next year being able to refi at a pretty darn good rate.
Yep.
And they're like, that's fine. I'll front it for the next 7-8 months. I'll overpay and I'll just get it back then. So those houses are moving because they can get a little bit of a discount on them right now. Everybody in the middle is getting crunched.
Yeah, or on the first-time home buyer end on the low end,
That's why the sales numbers, the actual home sales numbers, are the lowest they've been in a long time.
And what do you see rising? Inventory, I think it's settled. It's finally plateaued, by the way. We're done with rising inventory this year because if you're paying attention to all the housing reports from Stephen Thomas, they're actually starting to decline now. But we peaked way above pre-COVID levels in LA County, like 15,000 to 16,000 homes.
Some of that is the typical seasonal stuff, though, because you do get people that are trying to get their move in before school starts, before their kid goes off to college. So some of that is seasonal, and a lot of people historically have never wanted to move around the holidays. So as we start to get into October, that's always slowed down. But I think what was kind of tripping everybody out was how high it was getting. Yeah. And it was rising quickly.
The inventory?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it wasn't being absorbed. But I don't think it can be absorbed because that's a payment issue.
There's no demand.
You have to be able to afford your payment. Yeah. And if you're paying, I'll make up a number because it's not really relevant, but if you're paying $5,000 a month with your current mortgage, and you want to trade that house,
do you want to double your payment
for the same house? You're now going to pay 10, maybe 11 grand. Yeah, because it's not really even a true doubling. So who's going to do that?
Yeah, it's tough. Somebody trying to buy a starter condo.
Oh gosh.
Or even just a starter single family in the Long Beach or Lakewood area for like $950,000, and they're doing minimum down FHA. They're $8,000-9,000 a month. It's not. We're talking net after tax income, guys.
Yep.
Right. It's hard. I don't know. Everyone's saying, well, we got to stay higher for longer to let the market crash and the free market reign and all that. And I get that concept. I just don't think the Fed's going to let it happen. And I think lower interest rates is the only solution to better affordability.
I think it has to. I think the idea, though, and I think this gets pushed a little bit too much. I don't want to say in the media, but I mean, that is where we read a lot of these things. But the idea that builders need to build so much more housing, I don't actually agree with that at all. I think the problem right now is you have too many potential sellers, that don't want to list their house. So there's like this phantom inventory of people who want to move.
Sellers will get off the fence if they get.
They will get off the fence so long as their 3% maybe goes up to 4%. Yeah, I think they'll take it. Yeah. They'll go, that's fine. I'll make that trade. Yeah, but trading 3 for 6.5, or 6, or even 5.5. Yeah, they're not going to do it. Yeah. So the idea that we need all this extra housing, no, it's there, We just need to be able to incentivize those.
We need velocity of transactions.
Those homes won't turn.
Yeah.
There's tons of $1.5 million homeowners that they're not going to sell.
Yeah.
They're just not going to do
We've
it.
been in a state of purgatory.
Oh, gosh.
But it's not cool, right? Like the percentage, if you look at the national statistics.
This is why you should be caught up more on your comic book stuff. I'm so disappointed.
I'm on it. Late.
I'm on it. We're going to do a three-way panel. You're going to find someone else to come in here who knows their stuff, and we're going to debate this out. You're going to get crushed.
Oh, man, that's such a good idea.
It's a great idea, but you're going to get crushed, though. You better do some homework.
I'll be prepared.
Okay.
But I will say
and I'll take Marvel or even though I'm a DC guy, you can bring in another Marvel
What are we
guy.
debating exactly?
Anything. I don't know. who wins between the X-Men and I don't know.
But I digress, right? Real quick, we have the ability to do 3 chairs and 3 mics. So if we want to have a debate, that'd be kind of fun.
Yeah.
That's such a good idea.
I know, right? You could moderate.
Thank you. I'd be a great moderator.
You probably would be, yeah.
I'm not super argumentative, so I don't know that I'd be a good debater, but I would be, because like I'm the guy that's like Zen awakened, like everyone has their own truth, you know.
We can start with why Terminator 2 is not that great of a sequel. That can be the beginning of it.
Oh, wow.
I'm kidding.
Them's fighting words.
Edit that out, please. Yeah. No, it's just fine. There's things about it that are extremely good. Actually, you know what's funny? The special effects in T2. No, I'm not kidding.
We were talking about the market. We need closure on that conversation.
We'll go to the market, but I am gonna leave T2 on this. The special effects in that movie are almost as good as half the comic book movies that come out today.
For Terminator 2?
Yes.
Yeah, it was good.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
incredible.
Well, think about that.
Why aren't the effects that much better?
What was the big director's name? What's his name again?
James Cameron?
Yes, thank you. Like he's basically the biggest name in all of Hollywood, outside of Steven Spielberg, maybe, right?
I mean, Christopher Nolan's pretty huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's some big guys.
He's like the
There's some guys that don't get as much credit, I think, as they should. Sean Levy, for example, amazing director. He did Arrival. He produced Stranger Things. He's working on He's working on the new Star Wars movie.
When is the Stranger Things sequel coming out?
Stranger Things final
season?
November.
Is it?
It's coming.
Man, I can't wait.
It's coming.
Wednesday just came out. My kid Charlie's all into it.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about? Netflix?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super good.
Yeah.
It's like, it's that Stranger Things / Wednesday vibe.
Oh, Sean Levy also did Deadpool versus Wolverine.
Oh, okay. That was a little bit too over the top for me.
But the directing was fantastic. And the story, I think, was over the top only because it was like, how many people can we pull in?
Sometimes it's too much chaos. Where it's like, can we have a story that's not so focused on shock factor?
You do realize the next Avengers movie has like 50 different.
See, that's what I mean. It's
too much.
It's too much.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think they pulled it off.
The last Ant-Man was like, what even is this? It's like
the Quantumania thing.
It's unwatchable.
It was unwatchable for sure.
All right, closure on the market.
Okay, market, bring it back.
But
Close
what
it
we're
up.
trying to say is we think
rates are going to solve a lot of these problems.
I don't want to speak for you, but I think that interest rates coming down 50 to 100 more basis points is going to solve a lot of ills in the market. It just is.
I think 100 basis points
solves it. Yeah.
Well, where are we at today? We're half
alleviates a lot of the pressure. We're at 6.25 for a 30-year fixed, and that's pretty dang good compared to where we were.
It is. I think. Again, I'm thinking about my sort of mid-range clients. I think if we get maybe 125 basis points, I think all of this goes away.
Yeah.
Just goes away.
So like 5 flat. Yeah.
Yep.
Somebody can buy down in the high 4s or something. Yeah.
Yes. Oh gosh. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I know that would literally.
If you could buy down to 4.5,
you'd be seeing a lot of move up buyers again. I miss.
I wouldn't have time to come in
here. I miss contingent sales. I miss move up buyers.
Yep.
I miss all that. I used to enjoy, being helping be a quarterback for them and like helping make sure that their transaction went well. And now it's just like, all of my loans in my pipeline that I choose to handle are 1.5 million more or less. Because it's people with money.
Yeah.
Thank God I have a business partner running a branch for us in Idaho. We have loan officers in Utah. I've got a couple loan officers in the Inland Empire. We got diversification.
Adding realtors in Idaho.
Yeah.
You have realtors in Utah.
That's him.
Yeah.
But
you're like, aren't we in California right now?
Like,
yes, but that's too easy.
If I hadn't had the diversification that I have, I'd be host. Right? Like,
oh no, for sure.
Like this is why what I've created with all my people's help. It wasn't just me. The only reason that we're doing well is because we have diversification and 25 licensees and multiple different marketplaces that cater way more to the first-time homebuyer marketplace, like Idaho and Utah.
Yep.
Way more first-time homebuyer marketplace here. Like, technically, I probably should go be working for Schools First Credit Union or U.S. Bank, but I'm not going to do that. You know. Anyway.
Yeah, I think that the real estate agents that are good, that survived through the last few years, because the last few years have been awful, were diversified. You're talking about diversification your way. There's a realtor way to be diversified.
What does that look like? Different states?
Different states for sure. Different. I was going to say different areas, really, because a lot of realtors don't like to get outside of their little bubble. Yeah. I mean, I've covered, I think we talked about this before.
That's true about you.
11 different counties in California.
Yeah.
That's a massive,
and not just areas of California, different states.
Utah. Yep, I just closed one not very long ago in Utah. So that's huge. Being able and comfortable to go to different areas, but also having things like probate.
Yeah.
Knowing how to manage a probate sale, because that's a very different type of deal. Short sales are not around right now because everyone's got equity. Yeah. But foreclosures may come back around. That's a very different type of deal.
Yeah.
So it's property management. You don't make a lot of money in property management, but it can help
Keeps you kind to clients, investors.
Man, it can help you when the market gets bad.
Yeah,
for sure. And those eventually, most of the time, those clients turn into a seller at some point where they don't want the property anymore.
You do need diversification.
That's how you got to get by.
Yeah.
These are tough markets.
Yeah, I mean, it's different. When I was a 28-year-old kid and working for my old boss and mentor, and I was just now about to pop out a kid or something like that, and just now trying to buy our first home, I mean, that's different, right? You can just be a one-man show salesperson. But like
the market was different then too, though.
Quantitative easing, baby, 0% interest rates.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. The market I would say from 2011 through 2022.
Up until the rates shot up, basically.
I was going to say 21. Yeah. I started to feel in 21, but there was a 10-year period there.
It ended after the first quarter of 22.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a feling to it. It felt more normal. It felt like the houses moved because they should have. They weren't necessarily overpriced or underpriced.
People could afford shit.
Well, there was that. But the last 3 years have been just rocky for anyone that's been doing this. I don't care who you are.
Doesn't matter who you are.
I don't care what they want to say. Like, oh no, I've had no problems. You're lying.
The people who say they have had no problems are definitely lying and being disingenuous.
Yep.
And I'm not saying you can't be successful, right?
Sure.
You and I are still in the business making a living.
Sure.
Right? But
not easy.
We're not having
easy.
a good time.
No, it hasn't been enjoyable at all.
Like sometimes it's like,
so we're talking about
for 3 straight years paddling upstream is not easy. That's what it is.
And as we come full circle, it works your mind. It makes you figure out, where do I want to go next? I want to get out of here.
It made me a better leader, is what I'll say.
Okay.
So like it forced me to not be lazy with my P&L, right? I was very lazy with my P&L before. Now it's like, okay, are we dismantling our partnership and going separate ways, or are we going to try to make this work, right? And now, since we were trying to make this work, we got to figure out what goes, what stays, ops, all this other stuff, right? And then you have to get back to the basics of market share, adding market share. What does that look like? And
and how do you do that in a not growing market?
Yeah, in a not growing market, right? Yes. And that means spending money, by the way, that you don't necessarily have or shouldn't be spending. This is what separates the wheat from the chaff, right? Because it's like I'm for whatever reason built that way, where I'm like, fuck it, let's do it, right? And if it fails, okay, I file bankruptcy. Oh well, try again.
Right.
Like that's my mentality. I think a lot of people are just erring on the side of risk averse and, oh no, I'm going to go get my 9-to-5 job, and that's just not who I am.
Yeah.
Well,
you would hate that anyway.
Yeah, it forced me to be a better leader, get back to the basics with marketing and prospecting, which hone those skills again. It just, it made me a better person overall too. And I think those seasons of scarcity and pruning are necessary, in my opinion, for most people's personal growth.
That's true. Yeah,
for the business.
Yeah.
So
you do weed out a lot of people that shouldn't be there.
We can now say we got through 2008.
Yes.
We got through COVID, and now we got through the last 3 years of the worst generation in real estate. Worst market in more than a generation, maybe multiple generations.
Yeah, I still don't actually think it's going to pick up until early to mid next year. That would be my prediction.
Yeah, springtime.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you're smart, though, I would buy now, because there's deals to be had now.
Yeah.
Yes, you're going to overpay on your rate. I guarantee you're going to overpay on your rate. but you're going to refi.
When do you buy? When there's blood in the streets.
Exactly.
Right? This is the counterintuitive thing that people can't concept.
If you wait until June of next year to buy, what's going to happen is you're not going to be the only offer.
Right.
You're going to be part of a multiple.
Yeah.
You're going to be going, oh, I don't know, should we kick up even more? And that prices you're going to start to see doing this again. Is it going to go up and up and up? That's what's going to happen. And then as the market takes off, you'll be like, shoot. That house was $100,000 less a year ago.
In November of 25?
Yeah, so your payment hurt for a while.
Yeah.
But we all know the refi's coming. Everybody knows the refi's coming.
Yeah.
Everybody.
It's not if, it's when.
Yeah, it's June.
Yeah.
June of next year, I think, is where it starts to... I mean, when does the Fed chair is officially gone?
May. Well, right? There's obviously going to be an actual Trump appointee in May of next year. So we're not only are we potentially having Lisa Cook booted, he already recently replaced a Fed chair. I can't remember his name, but he's starting to like grow his appointees in the Federal Reserve.
Powell's term, I think, is done in May. Mm-hmm. You're going to see interest rates shoot down right after that. Yeah. So, I mean, I think there's no reason to not buy now. Get a good deal.
Yeah.
Score the house you want. Get the property you want. Yeah. You'll be refining in less than a year.
For sure. Yeah.
That's my advice.
Yeah. And look, just the elephant in the room, marry the house, date the rate. I get it. The disclaimer here is don't buy the house if you can't afford it the way it is. All right. So no one's saying buy the house and count on a refi, because if you can't refi, you're toast. Then you don't buy the house. Buy the house if you can afford it today. And we do believe interest rates are a job. It's not a matter of if, it's just when.
I accept the disclaimer.
Okay. Yeah, because people freak out because that marry the house, date the rate thing. People got all pissed off about that because, here we are 3.5 years in and it's still yucky.
Well, yeah, I mean, inflation,
Yeah. Yeah, the Fed's job is to make sure businesses close, people get laid off, domestic violence, divorce, bankruptcy, suicide. Thank you, Fed. You've done your job.
I'll end with it. I'll end with this closing question for you. Should we even have the Fed anymore?
No, of course not. The amount of mistakes, the mistakes, and sure, it's not just the Fed, it's Congress, it's fiscal.
Okay.
But they kind of go hand in hand usually during crisis mode.
As an institution.
During 2008, they bailed out big banks and insurance companies, and all of its citizens had to file bankruptcy and lose their house.
That did happen, yep.
So that's policy mistake number one. Policy mistake number two was keeping quantitative easing and 0% interest rate policy for way too long, skewing the market.
Yep.
Policy mistake number three, after COVID hit, was doubling down and tripling down on that and printing way too much money, dropping interest rates way too low, shutting down businesses, supply chains. These are all policy mistakes. Yep, we did not need $1 trillion helicopter money. We did not need to keep kids out of school. We did not need 2.5% 30-year fix. We did not need a quantitative easing, skewing the Fed's balance sheet. These are all policy mistakes, right? And now here we are, higher for longer. Transitory wasn't real, and now we're higher for longer for way too long because they're always too old and slow. Like they have an inability as a giant bureaucracy with thousands of PhDs and hundreds of billions of dollars in budget. We don't need any of this. It's a waste of time, in my opinion, and money, obviously. I think they've proven that.
Ben Affleck's Batman was great.
Colossus over Wolverine. All right, everybody.
We're going to research that. we'll hit that one next time. So,
thank you, Rob.
Absolutely.
I didn't do a proper introduction to Rob Magnotta with First Team Real Estate. Mm-hmm. Obviously, quite a bit more to him than just the real estate topic, as you can tell.
Keller Williams, Park City, Utah real estate, Idaho real estate broker. Here for all that.
Thanks, everybody. Until next time.
Thanks.